Hello all, welcome to the next session on storage area networks. So in this session, we'll be looking at the different examples for monitoring. We'll be looking at the examples for monitoring the different parameters of different components. So let us first begin by looking at an example for accessibility monitoring. Okay. So here we have a bunch of hosts that is connected to the storage array using switches. So failure of any component might affect the accessibility of one or more components due to their interactions and interdependencies. So failure of any component might affect the accessibility of one or more components due to their interconnections and dependencies. As we can see, we have multiple components here which are interconnected and which are depending on each other. Now consider an implementation of the storage infrastructure with three servers H1, H2 and H3. All the servers are configured with two host bus adapters. As you can see here, every host is pre-configured or are configured with two host bus adapters, each connected to the production storage array with two switches, and each of these host bus adapters are connected to each of the two switches here, which in turn is connected to the projected storage. The two switches here that we have is SW1 and SW2. Again, all the servers share two storage ports on the storage array, and the multipathing software is installed on the servers. So on these servers we also have the multipathing software that is installed. If one of the switches, say if the switch SW1 fails, the multipathing software initiates the path failover and all the servers continue to access the data through the other switch that is working fine. That is the switch SW2. However, due to the absence of a redundant switch, a second switch failure could result in inaccessibility of the array. Now, if the second switch also fails, now that could result in the inaccessibility to the array. Monitoring for accessibility enables detecting the switch failure and helps an administrator to take corrective action before another failure occurs. So, in most cases, the administrator receives the symptom alerts for a failing component and can initiate the actions before a component fails. So in this example, monitoring for accessibility enables detecting the switch failure and helps an administrator to take a corrective action before the failure occurs. So that is about an example related to accessibility monitoring. Now let us try to look at one more example for capacity monitoring. So in the scenario that is shown in this particular figure here, so servers H1, H2 and H3 are connected to the production array through two switches SW1 and SW2. Each of the servers is allocated storage on the storage array. When a new server is deployed in this configuration, the applications on the new server need to be given the storage capacity from the production storage array. Now monitoring the available capacity, that is configurable and unallocated capacity on the array, helps us to proactively decide whether the array can provide the required storage to the new server. Also, monitoring the available number of ports on switch 1 and switch 2 helps to decide whether the new server can be connected to the switches, right? Now this following example illustrates the importance of monitoring the file system capacity on the file servers. In this diagram on the left here, it illustrates the environment of a file system when full, and that results in an application outage when no capacity monitoring is implemented. Now monitoring can be configured to issue a message when the thresholds are reached on the file system capacity. For example, when the file system reaches 66% of its capacity, a warning message is issued and a critical message is issued when the file system reaches 80% of its capacity, as is shown in this particular diagram, right? So we need not wait until the 100% utilization of the file system is achieved. So whenever the file system utilization reaches say 66%, a warning message is issued by the administrator. So once it reaches 80%, a critical message is issued when the file system reaches 80% of its capacity, as shown in this particular diagram here. This enables the administrator to take action to extend the file system before it runs out of capacity. So this is called as preemptive measure. Proactively monitoring the file system can prevent application outages caused due to lack of file system space. So that is one more example for capacity monitoring. One example we've seen is ensuring the capacity monitoring of the storage array, of the storage that is available in the storage array to accommodate the requirements of the new server that was deployed. And one more example is how can we continuously monitor the utilization of the file system or the file system capacity monitoring. Now let us move on with the next monitoring parameter, that is performance monitoring. Let us look at an example for performance monitoring. The example shown here in this particular diagram, it illustrates the importance of monitoring the performance on the storage array. In this example, servers H1, H2 and H3 with two host bus adapters each are connected to the storage array through the switches SW1 and SW2. The three servers share the same storage ports on the storage array to access the LUNs or the logical units. A new server running an application with high workload must be deployed to share the same storage port as H1, H2 and the server H3. Now monitoring the array port utilization ensures that a new server does not adversely affect the performance of the other servers. So in this example, the utilization of the shared storage port, that is these ports here. In this example, the utilization of the shared storage port so is shown by the solid and the dotted lines in the graph. If the port utilization prior to deploying a new server is close to 100%, then deploying a new server is not recommended because it might impact the performance of the other servers. However, if the utilization of the port prior to the deploying new server is closer to the dotted line, that is this line, then there is room to add a new server. So what is this example illustrates is the system will continuously monitor the utilization and the performance port utilization of the storage array. If the port utilization is almost reached nearly 100%, then there is no point in adding a new application server, as it may adversely affect the traffics from H1, H2 and H3 servers. However, if the host utilization is not that is not close to 100%, or if it is relatively less, in that case the new server can be added easily without affecting the performance of the other servers, that is H1, H2 and H3, because all these four servers will continue to share a single storage array port. That is an example for performance monitoring. Now let us move on to understand one more example for security monitoring. The example shown in this diagram here, it illustrates the importance of monitoring the security in a storage array. In this example, the storage array is shared between two work groups. As we can see here, the storage array is shared between two work groups. So one work group is WG1 and one more work group is WG2. The data of work group 1 should not be accessible to the work group 2 and vice versa. A user from work group 1 might try to make a local replica of the data that belongs to work group 2. If this action is not monitored or recorded, it is difficult to track such a violation of information security. Conversely, if the action is monitored, a warning message can be sent to prompt a corrective action or at least enable discovery as a part of regular auditing operations. An example of host security monitoring is tracking of login attempts at the host itself. The login is authorized if the login ID and the password entered are correct, or the login attempt fails. These login failures might be accidental, which may be due to mistyping, or it may be a deliberate attempt to access the server. Many servers usually allow a fixed number of successive login failures, prohibiting any additional attempts after these login failures. In a monitored environment, the login information is recorded in a system log file, and 3 successive login failures trigger a message warning of a possible security threats. So, in this example, we have two work groups, work group 1 and work group 2. So, the condition here is to ensure the security, the data of one group should not be accessible by the users of some other work group. So, an example of host security monitoring is tracking the login attempts at the host. The login is authorized if the login ID and the password are entered correct or the login fails. Now, every login attempt might be accidental or it might be deliberate attempt to access the server. Now, many servers usually allow a fixed number of successive login failures. You might have seen 3 attempts left, 2 attempts left, and so on, prohibiting any additional attempts after these particular number of logins. In a monitored environment, the login information is recorded in a system log file, and the 3 successive login failures trigger a message warning of a possible security threat. That is an example for security monitoring example. Now let us try to understand a bit more about the alerts. What is the purpose of alerts? What are the types of alerts, and so on. Alerting of events is an integral part of monitoring. Okay, so alerting keeps the administrators informed about the status of various components and processes. For example, conditions such as failure of power, disks, memory or switches which can impact the availability of services and require immediate administrative attention. So alerting keeps the administrators informed about the status of these components and the processes which include disks, memory, switches and so on. Other conditions such as a file system reaching its capacity threshold or a soft media error on disks are considered warning signs and may also require administrative action. Monitoring tools enables the administrators to assign different severity levels, the different levels of severity based on the impact of alerted condition. Whenever a condition with a particular severity level occurs, an alert is sent to the administrator, a script is triggered, or an incident ticket is opened to initiate a corrective action. So, whenever a condition with a particular severity level occurs, an alert will be sent to the administrator, a script is triggered, or an incident ticket is opened to initiate a corrective action. Alert classifications can range from information alerts to fatal alerts. Information alerts provide useful information but do not require any intervention by the administrator. Right? There is something called as information alerts and there are something called as fatal alerts. Two classification of alerts. Information alerts provide useful information but do not require any intervention by the administrator. The creation of a zone or a LUN is an example for information alert. Warning alerts require administrative action so that alerted condition is contained and does not affect the accessibility. For example, if an alert indicates that the number of soft media errors on a disk is approaching a predefined threshold value, the administrator can decide whether the disk needs to be replaced. Now, what are fatal alerts then? Fatal alerts require immediate attention because the condition might affect the overall performance, the security or availability. For example, if a disk fails, the administrator must ensure that it is replaced quickly. Continuous monitoring with automated alerting enables the administrators to respond to the failures quickly and proactively. Alerting provides information that helps the administrators to prioritize their response to the events. So in this particular video session, we discuss the different types of examples for accessible monitoring, capacity monitoring, performance monitoring and security monitoring, and we also discussed what are alerts, what are the types of alerts and how are alerts useful in monitoring the storage infrastructure. With this, let us conclude this particular video session. Thank you.